Hello, welcome back to Fire's Gaming. My name is Ben, and today we're going to restart Ever17. So, last time out we finished up Sarah's route, and let's see, we did you the first time around. So this time I think I'm going to go for Sora. So yeah, if you haven't seen any of the older routes, I'll slap a card up in the top here somewhere. And yeah, let's get going here. I've been having a ton of fun with this one so far. Oh, and since we're going for Sora, that means we're switching over to Takashi's route. So we're definitely going to do the whole intro again, because you have to do different choices to get to Takashi. So yeah, he was in the middle of a blue world. As far as the eye could see, a sheet of water reached into the distance. The May sun shimmered on its surface. Above, high above, stretched a clear blue sky. That fresh, new sky looked so glossy and vivid that it might spill down to earth at any moment. That was all that was reflected in his eyes. The straight line of the horizon stretched into the distance, dividing the sea from the heavens. So tranquil, he muttered. A solitary seagull traced a gentle arc in the sky as the wind carried it away. The wind, full of the smell of the ocean, blew by him gently. A din of people could be heard in the background. The merry sound of children's voices echoed brighter than the sunlight pouring down. So peaceful. It was like being inside a dream. Alright. Monday, May 1st. 10 miles from M Island, Komagahara Archipelago, Tokyo. The man-made island Insel Nul rose above the waves of the water. It seemed like a place removed from reality. The word utopia might have sprung to mind to describe it. Actually, a slab of rock on the boat dock on the boat dock of this floating island were carved the following words. Where is heaven? Above the sky and at your feet. Leaning out over the railing of the island, he gazed into the ocean depths. In the blue distance, he saw a massive metallic structure swaying gently. Utopia, huh? He mumbled and looked back casually. And there's a tanuki, or raccoon dog. His eyes met those of the animals. For a moment, they eyed each other in silence. Hello? To clear the air, he nodded his head. The animal turned away, ignoring him. Upon closer inspection, he noticed something biting the animal from behind. It was a young girl. She was shaped like a person. Looking closer revealed that there is something strange about her as well. It's like such a deep growl for this teeny tiny little dog. Namely, a small tanuki attached to the girl's backside. In front of him, there's a big tanuki being bitten by a girl who's bitten by a smaller tanuki. This scene was enough to make him lose his sense of reality. He rubbed his eyes, rubbed them some more, and opened his eyes again. Even after blinking several times, the bizarre scene refused to go away. Hey. Would you do something about this kid? Whispered the big tanuki. But the words didn't reach his mind because he was so busy trying to process the absurd scene. I must be dreaming, right? That was what he was really thinking. A dream. A dream that would not let him wake up. And whiteness. A cold, white reality stretching forever. He felt the difference in temperature on his skin, and the shock of it finally forced him to open his eyes. He wondered how long he'd been sitting. It couldn't have been long. He had only been in the park an hour. He'd been sitting on the bench the whole time, eating the same ice cream. It's cool. Of course it was. It had melted into a muddy mess. The melted vanilla ice cream trickled onto his hand, spilling on his lap. Well, it's cold. The ice cream slowly soaked into the fabric of his pants. Finally, the coldness of it had spread completely, soaking into his skin. He had been sitting there a while. He had been sitting so long. But the person he was waiting for never came. There's no sign that she would. I wonder why she hasn't come. He didn't know. Why am I here? He felt like he was teetering on the verge of utter confusion.
やれやれ。
Oh well. He shook his head and sighed. It didn't seem his pants would dry anytime soon.
どうしたの？
What's wrong? He sensed a slight movement and a girl sat down next to him. She's sporting the theme park uniform. A white outfit with a bluish ribbon. She looked like a
も
guide.
しかして迷子かな？
Are you lost? Beaming, innocent smile appeared on her shining face.
友達とはぐれちゃったのかな？
Did you get separated from your friends?
うん。
Yeah,
待ってるんだ。
I've been waiting.
待ってる？
Waiting?
いや、
Well,
待ってたんだ。
I was waiting.
待ってた。
You were waiting.
私を？
For me?
違うよ。
What? No. He was flustered as her grinning face peered into
ここ
his.
で待ってるように言われたから。
I was told to wait here, so...
ふーん。
Okay. Pretty sure I've said it before, but apparently means I see.
でも待ち人来たらずって感じね。
It looks like they're not coming. She gave him a sideways
見
glance.
るからに待ちぼうけの待ちくたびれな少年。
Listen, you've obviously been stood up and are tired of waiting.
そうだ。
I know. Her face suddenly lit up and she clapped her hands
ねえ
together.
ねえ、君一人なんでしょ？
Hey, hey, you're alone, right?
え？
Huh?
退屈してたんじゃない？レミューの中案内してあげようか。
Well, you're bored, right? How about I give you a tour of the venue? She tugged at his arm. Without waiting for his reply, she made him stand.
でも待ち合わせが。
But I'm waiting for someone.
待ち合わせ？誰と？
Waiting for who?
と、
Who was it? He couldn't think of the name.
誰だか知らないけど、
Well, I don't know who you're waiting for, but
いつまで経っても来ないならもう待たなくてもいいんじゃない？
they haven't showed up yet. Don't you think you've waited long enough? She said this happily, almost prancing around.
行こうよ。
What do you say? How about it?
うん。
All right. He nodded silently. The girl's name tag glittered brightly against the white fabric of her uniform.
YOU?
That was what it said.
I am you.
I am you.
うん？
I'm you. Yup. She nodded.
私は田中。
My name is you.
下の名前
Tanaka.
は You。
Whoops. I jumped the gun. My last name is Tanaka.
You?
本当はもっと長い名前なんだけどね。
My real name is much longer though.
長い？
Longer?
そう、果てしなく長い名前。だけど
Long. Like, endlessly long.
めんどくさいから You でいいよ。
But it's such a pain. Just call me you.
よろしく。
Nice to meet you. With that, she enthusiastically stuck out her hand.
よろしく。
Nice to meet you. Without thinking, he shook her hand. And before he'd realized it, he'd been sucked along into her rhythm.
じゃあ行こっか。
So, shall we go? They released hands reluctantly. He looked again at his hand, which had moments before connected them. The vanilla ice cream that had spilled on it completely melted away. Huh? He noticed that the two Tanuki had formed a line and were proceeding forward. In front of them was a massive gate that was sealed shut. The gate swung open soundlessly. The big Tanuki, little Tanuki, and the girl went inside. Finally my turn. He followed on their heels. This was the Mews' only entrance for visitors. Several park employees waited at the gate and handed over what looked like earphones to the visitors. It seemed that the earphones had been used at some point up ahead. He wondered why. Looking around skeptically but obeying instructions, he stepped into the building. He surveyed the ceiling. There were no windows. From the polished round walls, it was clear that the room was dome-shaped. He looked around. Many of the visitors who had been waiting in line headed into the room. Among them were friends, amorous couples, people with their families. The Tanuki family had, however, split up, it seemed. The big Tanuki shoved its way through the crowd of people and continued through a door on the other side of the room. The young girl stayed on the same side of the room as the little Tanuki. I've got no clue what those Tanuki are all about, but I guess my friends aren't here either. He didn't see any familiar faces around. He figured maybe they'd already taken the fire elevator downstairs. Just 20 minutes earlier, the visitor room had reached capacity, and the friends he'd been waiting with had gone ahead, leaving him behind to go down with the next group. Now, well, I'm sure I'll find everyone down below soon enough. Finally, the gate to the entrance slipped shut quietly. The big Tanuki fiddled with something on the wall, and the room got a shade darker.
皆さん、どうもこんにちは。
Hello, everybody. The park employee emerged out of the darkness. He wondered where she had come from. She was wearing a flashy dress. The dim light shining on her made her seem like a character from some dream.
あれ？反応がないですね。
What? No reaction, folks?
もう一度行きますよ。
I'll try that again.
こんにちは。
Hello.
こんにちは。
Hello. It was the girl who, just a little while ago, had been attached to the rear of the large Tanuki.
あ、元気のいい女の子発見。
Oh, I found a girl with some
お
spunk.
名前は？
What's your name?
ココです。
I'm Coco Yakami.
で、こっちが愛犬のピピ。
Yes, my pet dog, Pee-Pee. So that is a Tanuki. It's a dog. I thought they didn't let pets in here. He tilted his head doubtfully.
ココちゃんはレミューに来たのは何回目かな？
So, Coco, how many times have you been to Mew?
1、2、3、4、5？
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
今回が初めて。
This is my first time.
面白い子ね。
Aren't you a funny girl?
よく言われます。
I get that a lot.
ついでだから、もっと面白いことやってあげよっか。
You want me to do something even more funny?
え？
What?
最近ね、友達から超ウケるコメンチを教わったの。
My friend taught me a good joke the other day.
それはまた今度ね。
Oh, maybe some other time.
どうして？
Well, why not?
これから皆さんにお伝えしなくちゃいけないことがあるの。
Because I have to tell everyone something right now.
そっか。ほいじゃあしょうがないよね。
Oh, okay then.
でも本当に面白いのにな。
But it's really funny.
残念だね、ピピ。
That's too bad, huh, Pee-Pee?
では改めまして、
Once again,
この度は海洋テーマパークレミューにご来場くださいまして誠にありがとうございます。
on behalf of the Mew Marine Theme Park, I'd like to thank you very much for coming.
これから皆さんにこのテーマパークレミューのご説明と少しだけ注意事項をお知らせいたします。
I'm about to give you a brief explanation of the Mew Theme Park and tell you a few things to watch out for.
そんなのどうでもいいから早く中に入れてよ。
Who cares? Hurry up and let us inside already.
私ももちろんすぐにでも皆さんをご案内したいのですが、
I would love to take everyone
申
inside.
し訳ありません。
But I'm terribly sorry.
実はどうしても皆さんにはこの加圧室に留まっていただく必要があるのです。
Everyone actually have to stay in this compression chamber for now.
たった17分間だけです。
It will only take 17 minutes.
その間だけどうかお付き合いください。
So please just bear with me for that long.
まずこの部屋についてですが、ここは加圧室と申します。
First, let me explain a bit about this room. It is called the compression
こ
chamber.
れからこの中の空気圧を6気圧まで加圧します。
Starting from now, the pressure here is going to rise to 6 atmospheres.
なぜ気圧を上げなければならないのか、理由は後でご説明するとして、
Why do you think it is necessary to raise the air pressure? I'll explain the reason for that in a moment.
その前にひとまず注意事項をお伝えいたします。
But before that, let me tell you a few things you should be aware
こ
of.
れから気圧の上昇に伴い、皆さんは耳に違和感をお感じになると思います。
As the air pressure rises, you may start to feel strange sensation in your
高
ears.
い山の上から降りてきた時と同じように、気圧が鼓膜を圧迫するからです。
Like when you're descending a mountain on an airplane. It's because the increased air pressure is pressing on your eardrums.
ですから耳がちょっと変だなと思われた時には
So, if you think your ears feel a bit strange,
指で鼻をつまみ口をしっかりと閉じて耳抜きをするようにしてください。
pinch your nose with your fingers, close your mouth tight, and try to pop your ears.
それでも耳が治らない場合や体調が悪くなってしまわれた場合には手を挙げて知らせてくださいね。
If that doesn't get your ears back to normal, or if you don't feel well, please raise your hand and let me know.
その時にはすぐに加圧を停止します。
In the event that happens, we will immediately stop increasing air pressure.
ところで耳抜きのやり方がわからない方いらっしゃいませんか？
By the way, are there any people here that don't know how to pop their ears?
よろしいでしょうか？
Is everything clear then?
では加圧を始めましょう。
Alright then, we'll initiate the rise in pressure.
加圧時間は先ほども申し上げましたように17分間です。
As I said before, the time required to increase the pressure is 17 minutes.
その間に皆さんにレミューの構造についてご説明いたします。
During that time, I'll explain to everyone about the structure of the Mew.
皆さんもご存知の通りレミューは海の中に浮かんでいます。
As you all know, the Mew is floating in the ocean.
水深17メートルから51メートルの海の中に。
At a depth of between 51 and 103 feet.
さて図をご覧いただければお分かりになるようにこれらは4つの層に分かれた構造をしています。
Now, if you look at this chart, you will see that the structure is divided into 4 layers.
上から順にインゼルヌル、エルストボーデン、ツバイトシュトック、ドリットシュトックと呼ばれていますが
From the top, these are called Inselnull, Ersteboden, Zweiterstock, and Dritterstock.
一般的に言われるグランドフロアから地下3階までのことだとお考えいただいて結構です。
In terms of a normal building, you might think of it as a structure with a ground floor extending down to a 3-story basement.
インゼルヌルとはここ浮島のことです。
Inselnull here is a floating island.
洋上に浮かんだ巨大な人工島。
It is an immense man-made island floating in the ocean.
インゼルは島、ヌルはゼロという意味のドイツ語です。
In German, Insel means island and Null means zero.
つまりここは地上階、ゼロフロアということになりますね。
In other words, this is floor zero or the ground floor.
次にエルストからドリットについてですが
Next is from Erster to Dritter. Just then. Hey, you. Hey, I'm talking to you. As he was listening to the explanation, someone pulled on him from behind. He turned to look around. It was the girl who had just been talking with the park staff. What was her name again?
ココのコメッチョ気にならない？
Did you know about my joke? Ah, that's right. Her name is Coco. That animal she's holding is Pepe or Popo or
気
something.
になるでしょ？
You want to know, don't you?
え、何が？
Huh? What?
さっき言おうとしたコメッチョのことだよ。
The joke she's talking about, it's an Ame joke.
米っちょ？
Ame joke?
知らないの？最近流行ってるっしょ？
You haven't heard about them? They're real popular now, you know?
知らないな、そんなの。なんだそれ？
No, I haven't. What are you talking about?
アメリカンジョークのことだってば。コメッチョコメッチョ。
Ame joke is an American joke, get it? Ame joke?
ふーん。
Oh, really?
気になるでしょ？教えてほしいでしょ？
You can soon hear it, right? Want me to tell you? No. We're gonna listen to the staffer's explanation.
まあ気にならないこともないけど、後でな。
Well, I suppose it could be worse, but I'll talk to you later. Huh? Patting the little dog's hand, he turned back to listen to the explanation.
というわけで各フロアの構造はお分かりになっていただけたと思います。
So now you should have a general understanding of the layout of each floor.
ところでこのレミューは飽和潜水仕様の設計になっています。
By the way, the Mew is designed with saturation diving specifications.
つまり内部の気圧が外の水圧と同等かまたはそれを上回るようになっているのです。
In other words, the air pressure inside is equivalent to or greater than the water pressure outside.
話の始めでもお伝えしましたように
As I said at the
こ
beginning,
れから皆さんがお入りになる館内はどこもかしこも6気圧の混合ガスで満たされています。
the complex we're all going to enter is filled with a mixture of gases at 6 atmospheres.
ですから 今このようにして皆さんの体を6気圧の大気に慣らしているというわけです。
So right now, our bodies are adjusting to be able to handle pressures equivalent to 6
も
atmospheres.
ちろんこの混合ガスは酸素、窒素、ヘリウムで構成されておりますので、人体には全く無害です。
Of course, this mixture of gases is composed of oxygen, nitrogen, and helium is completely harmless to people.
どうして中の気圧を高めているのかと申しますと、
The reason for raising the air pressure inside
それ
is
はレミューの安全性を確保するために必要不可欠だからです。
that it is essential to make Lemieux safe for everyone.
皆さんはこれから海の中へと潜っていくわけですが、
Okay, everyone, we are now going to enter the
こ
ocean.
こでちょっぴり不安に思われている方も中にはいらっしゃるのではないでしょうか。
Are any of you here feeling just a little bit nervous?
海水が漏れて中に入ってきたらどうするんだとか、水圧に押しつぶされて沈没してしまうんじゃないかとか、
You might be worrying about what would happen if seawater started leaking inside, or that you might be crushed by the water pressure or else sinking.
しかしどうかご安心ください。そのような心配は一切ご無用です。
However, please relax. There's nothing to worry about.
内部の気圧を高めているので、このレミューが水圧によって押しつぶされることは絶対にありえないのです。
There is absolutely no way that Lemieux could be crushed by the outside water pressure because we've raised the air pressure inside.
ところでこの加圧室に入る前に皆さんにイヤホンのようなものをお配りしましたよね。
By the way, before we enter this pressurization chamber, we handed out earphones to everyone, remember?
はい、そうです。今皆さんが耳に装着されているそのイヤホンです。
Yes, that's right. The earphones everyone is using right now.
これはただのイヤホンではなく音声変換器と言います。
And these are not your average earphones. They have voice
レ
alternators.
ミューの中にはヘリウムガスが充満しているので、この変換器を耳につけていないとアヒルのような声に聞こえてしまうのです。
Lemieux is pumped full of helium gas, so without these on your ears, you'll sound like a duck. He removed his voice alternators to see what would happen. It's true, people really do sound like ducks. Then again, maybe they sound more like aliens than ducks. The voices of the people around him jumped to a strange, higher tone.
なあ、なんか喋ってみてくれよ。
Hey, say something.
なんかって
Hey, what?
なんだよその声、すげえ笑える。
Your voice is hilarious.
声
My voice?
声がどうかしたの？
What's wrong with my voice?
さっきの説明聞いてなかったのかよ。
You weren't listening to the explanation.
何笑ってるの？ニヤニヤしてるの？
What are you laughing at? Why are you smiling like that?
怪しい人みたいだよ。
You're acting really weird.
つうか自分の声自分で聞いてみ。
Well, why don't you try listening to your own voice?
おかしいぞ。まるで8本足の宇宙人だ。
It's so funny, you sound like an eight-legged alien.
宇宙人？宇宙人ってピロピロのケロケロ？
Alien? Alien isn't take us, Jelena. Gubba Jubba Space Alien?
クイクイ星人とか太陽星人とか？
Like a Martian or someone from planet Kui Kui or something?
スター星人だとこの辺の先っちょからビームがビューッと。
A star person from the far edge of the galaxy with lasers?
それよりさ、コメッチョの方が絶対面白いって。
My joke's a lot funnier than that.
もういい。もうお腹いっぱい。サンキュー。
That's enough. I can't take any more of this. Thanks. He placed the voice alternators back in his ears again and turned back to watch the staffer.
さあ、説明はこれで終わりです。
And that pretty much covers it.
あと1分ほどでこの部屋の脇にあるドアが開きます。
In approximately 1 minute, the door on this side of the room will open.
ドアの向こうはエレベーターになっていますので、下降すればその先には素晴らしい楽園が広がっています。
On the other side of the door is an elevator, and at the bottom of it, a brilliant paradise awaits.
それでは海洋テーマパークレミューを心ゆくまでお楽しみください。
We hope that you enjoy yourself to your heart's content here at the Marine Theme Park from you.
さて、それじゃ行くか。
So, shall we go? Jesse headed for the
ところ
elevator.
で、ねえ、一人で来たの？
So, are you here by yourself?
ああ、俺？いや、友達とはぐれちゃってさ。
Who, me? Nah, I got separated from my
迷
friends.
子なんだ。
So, you lost?
ちょっと違うけど、まあ似たようなもんかな。
Not exactly, but something like
エレ
that.
ベーター降りたら、そこら辺歩いて探してみるよ。
I'll head down the elevator and take a look around.
さっきの係の人に相談してみたら？
How about checking out that girl who was just talking?
お、それもそうだな。ちょっとすいません。
Oh, I suppose I could do that. Excuse me. Looking back, he saw that the employee had already disappeared.
じゃあ君、一人でレミューに来たんだ。
So you came to the Mew by yourself?
うん、そうだよ。
Yup, that's right.
それにしてもさ。
Even so. After bending down to wipe away the white stain on his pants, he stood
珍
up.
しいよね。男一人で遊びに来るなんてさ。
You don't see that very often, a guy coming to a park like this alone? That was true. It was paradise, an amusement park. In that instant, he'd almost forgotten even that.
でも、どうして連れの人と一緒に入場しなかったの？
So why didn't you go to the park with your friends?
わざわざレミューの中で待ち合わせなんて。
Why arrange to meet inside the Mew?
それは。
That's because... Now that she mentioned it, who had said to wait on that bench? Whose idea was it anyway?
まあよい。わけは聞かないでおいてあげよう。
Oh, well, whatever. I won't push you. Who was
し
it?
かしあれだ。要するに君は。
But I suppose that... Well, I mean...
振られちゃった。みたいだね。
You've been kind of stood up, right?
え、
What?
振られた？
Stood up. Stood up. It took a moment for the meaning of the word to register.
図星だったのかな。ごめんなさい。
Wow, I hit the nail on the head, didn't I? Sorry. She shrugged slightly, embarrassed.
まあまあ、そう落ち込みなさんな。
Well, don't get depressed about it. She changed modes abruptly and let out a hearty laugh. She slapped him solidly on the back.
私がとことん面倒見てあげるからさ。
I'll look out for you. All right.
うん。
All right. He nodded, a bit overwhelmed. So, I was stood up. I must have been dumped. Huh. Then again, he wasn't sure exactly what had happened.
でもさ、
But,
何？
what?
ユウは今仕事中じゃなかったの？
Aren't you working right now, you?
固いこと言わないの。
Nah, you make a scary boss. No matter how many times he checked, she was definitely still wearing a Lemieux uniform.
暇だったし、ちょうどよかったのよ。
I didn't have anything to do anyways. Perfect timing, yeah. And they got in an egg-like elevator together. The eggs slowly began to move. It felt like they're slowly floating
上
up.
に参ります。
Going up. She whispered mischievously. The elevator was terribly crowded, and everyone was packed in like sardines.
ちょっと暑いね。
Well, it's a little hot, huh?
うん。
I'll say. Her face is so close, he almost bumped into it. Their bodies were flush against each other. She was soft and warm. He was surprised. All of a sudden, he felt embarrassed and started to squirm.
ちょっと少年。変なとこ触らないでよ。
Don't go touching places you shouldn't. She whispered into his ear, puffing out her cheeks. Crammed in the elevator, he couldn't even move an
痛
inch.
い。あんまり動かないで。
Tickles, don't move so much.
そんなこと言われても
I don't have a lot of choice.
息ができないんだ。
I can't breathe. He couldn't move, but he couldn't bear standing still either. As he gasped for breath, he noticed her light perfume. Finally, the egg arrived at the top floor and his suffering was over.
あ、
Ugh. He let out a cry and bolted from the elevator.
どうしたのいきなり。
What's with you all of a sudden?
待ってよ少年。少年。
Wait, kid! He spinning away, leaving you far behind. And it wasn't that he was trying to escape from her. He'd seen something. At the edge of his vision, he thought he'd seen someone. Up ahead, that someone was still visible. He chased after whoever it was like a man possessed. I've seen that face before. I'm sure I've seen that face before. That was what his instincts were telling him. But where had he seen them? tried to sort through his foggy memory. As he sifted, he kept running forward. Wait. He felt a desperate need to meet the person, but he had to hurry. Eventually, he ran out of breath. Holding his pounding chest, he looked up. Ah! There she was. Mixed amongst the other people was a girl standing. He was sure that this person, that the person he'd been searching for was this girl. It was in the middle of the holidays, but for some reason she's wearing her school uniform. He wondered why she was alone here. Oh yeah, I've got to talk to her. She was by herself. She was all alone, just like him. What should I say? Where should I start? Let's see. He needed to calm down and focus. Huh? Why is it I have to talk to her? Why in the world? Who was she? Who was she? She's... He was caught up in a wave of people. He got pushed in an elevator. It started to rise towards the surface. 51 feet below sea level, the elevator stopped at basement floor 1. He got off the elevator as if he were being spit out. His floor was called Ever17. He glanced around at his surroundings. She wasn't anywhere to be seen. He thought that they both were in the elevator together, but he'd apparently lost sight of her in the crowd when he got off. I lost her. He hadn't even been able to say a word. He felt really depressed. Maybe... Did she call out to me? That idea suddenly popped into his head.
なんだろうこの感じ
What is this... this feeling? His heart was still beating furiously.
どうかされましたか、お客様。
Is something the matter? A uniformed staff member different than he was talking to
どな
him.
たかお探しですか？
Are you looking for someone? She gave him a warm smile as she said this.
あ、そうです
Yes, I am. Feeling that he seemed a little desperate, he quickly blurted out an answer.
人を探しているんです
I'm trying to find someone.
待ち合わせをしててでも会えなくて
I was supposed to meet up with them, but we must miss each other.
どんな方です？お名前は？
Who is it? What is their name?
それは
Their name...
ちょっとそこにいるやつ
Hey, you there, wait. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps came rushing at him.
僕のこ
Huh? You mean me?
とあ、そうだ
Yeah, that's right. Running feet break sharply beside him. The guy was out of breath.
実は聞きたいことがある
Actually, I want to ask you something.
は
Huh? Surprised, he slowly opened his mouth.
なあ知らないか
Hey, you don't know, do you? There was nothing to do but see where the conversation
い
went.
きなりですまないけど知らないかな
Sorry to ask you this out of the blue, but you don't know, do you?
ここら辺にいなかったかな俺の知り合いなんだけど
You haven't seen my friends around here, have you?
一人は身長 5.1 フィート体重17かサングラスが似合ってない手は遅いが足は速くて3枚目
One of them is about 5'1", around 140 pounds, kind of good looking with dorky sunglasses, and probably not the type of girls to go for.
もう一人はスーツで丸刈りネクタイなし耳にピアスが3つ鼻に1つ趣味は編み物
Another one was wearing a suit, no tie, short hair, 3 piercings in his ear, 1 in his nose. He likes to knit.
そして最後はこう言って派手なフリルのたくさんついた地味な花柄ワンピース
There's the only girl in the group had a like kind of simple color flower print one piece of Philly lace.
というどこにでもいそうな3人組なんだけど
You know, 3 people you might see like literally anywhere.
見なかった
Did you see them?
いいえ
No. The young kid shook his head.
そっか悪いね呼び止めちゃって
I see. Well, sorry about stopping you like that. Waving slightly, he left. The youth continued down the corridor ahead. A girl came over to him and started talking to him enthusiastically. He thought he'd seen her before. Huh, wonder if she knows that kid. But a troubled expression appeared on his face.
ねえねえここのコメント聞きたくない
Hey, do you want to hear a joke?
君誰
Huh? What? Who are you? So that's it. She's probably one of those kind of people that would talk to anyone about anything anywhere, whether you're interested or not. He thought he'd go down below. The elevator arrived soundlessly and swallowed the waiting patrons. He went with them further into the depths of the Mew. He walked around aimlessly. The attractions were all packed with visitors. Everyone had beaming smiles, nailed happily, all evidence of the Mew's popularity. There we go. But still, wandering around a packed and lively amusement park all alone is a bit torturous. He couldn't help trudging around with heavy feet and slumped shoulders. He was on the verge of looking depressed, but held his expression in check.
しかし参ったね。
What am I gonna do? Walking around this place blindly, he thought he might never run into his friends. The floor is a lot wider than he'd
あ、
imagined.
そうだ、携帯。
Oh, right, my cell phone. He took his PDA multi-purpose communication device out from his pocket. He pushed a button. Didn't have any messages, no mail either, but the problem seemed to be it was out of range. At least that's what the display said.
マジですか。
Are you serious?
このご時世に県外とは。
I didn't think you could out of range in this day and age. Then he recalled they'd said something about this being a giant tunnel in the middle of the ocean where only select radio waves could reach. And that let me use special electronic equipment, which wasn't very compatible with mobile equipment. More than anything, they didn't allow PDAs to work inside, so the facility would be completely separated from the world above as part of the attraction. At least that's what they told him at the entrance, but he hadn't listened to a word of it. Maybe I should get them to broadcast a message over the intercom. He thought it might be best just to ask a staff member. He decided to look for one. But there wasn't a uniformed person in sight. There weren't many people walking around the corridors either. He turned a corner and entered a completely different corridor. There, right in front of him, was the giant Tanuki. It was what he'd seen at the gate coming in. The Tanuki is operating a panel on the wall. I'll bet that's the Lemieux employee. Thinking of perfect timing, he saddled up to the Tanuki and called out.
すいません、人を探しているんです。知り合いです。
Excuse me, you're looking for someone,
ア
friend?
ナウンスで呼び出してほしいんだけど、名前は、
Can I get you to make an announcement of the intercom or something? The name is, Sneakily, slowly turned around and looked at him. But it didn't say anything.
もしもし
Hello? Hello? But Sneaky turned away, avoiding him. He was being ignored. I wonder if it didn't hear me. But Sneaky's wearing a big stuffed suit and was a full head taller than him. There was a definite possibility that his words weren't even reaching the ears inside.
もしもし聞こえてますか
Hello, can you hear me in there? He asked the question nicely as he poked the Tanuki in the
ち
ribs.
ょっと贅肉が多いんじゃないかあんた
Hey, you got a lot of extra flesh here, buddy. He continued talking as he pinched, pulled, and released the Tanuki's flank. He thought that for a mascot suit, the Tanuki shot him a pretty realistic glare before it tried to walk away. Upset at that, he grabbed the Tanuki's
お
shoulder.
いお客が困ってるのにその態度はないんじゃない
Hey, what kind of attitude is that? What if visitors in trouble? He had been gut punched. Snooky had actually slugged him. Not even his parents had ever really spanked him before. It had been a totally cheap shot. Snooky landed a solid uppercut.
こらタヌキお前だ
Hey, Snooky! Yeah, I mean you! He went down to his knees and keeled over. Nearby visitors
お
reacted.
客様どうしました
Is everything alright? Just then, a park employee appeared from the door.
お腹でも痛いんですか
You having stomach pains? Nice. Alright. Well, got to the first choice here. This video is getting a little long, so it feels like as good a place as any to go and call it for today. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.